Welcome to this bite-sized webinar. My name is Tasha Fry and I'm a consultant at Fleming who are employee benefit specialists. It's likely you work with your current employer, which is why you've received the link to this session. Now, I won't keep you long today. This session is designed to give you a high-level overview, helping you on your journey managing your financial wellness. In today's session, we're going to look at how to manage debt. Now, I think the first thing to say is that emergency savings are at least as important as debt reduction. Otherwise, any plan you make is subject to being thrown off track by the slightest change to your circumstances. For example, an unexpected bill or a missed bonus payment from work. Now, I've said this in a previous session, but I think it's worth saying again. Recent research found that 500,000 households would be protected from problem debt if they had just £1,000 in savings. Now, whilst £1,000 would have an impact for a lot of people, try and think of what the number is for you. Is it an amount that relates to a bill that you couldn't currently afford, a car, boiler or roof repair, for example? Or is it an amount related to your earnings? If you receive varied pay, for example, think about what would happen if you made less commission one month. Now, having a relatively small amount of savings can make your finances more robust, and it will make achieving your goals much more likely. Now, of course, if you have any very expensive debt, like payday loans, these no doubt will come first in your priorities. But the point is, building a resilience fund is also very important. I wanted to illustrate this with an example. A recent Uswitch survey found that in 2017, 1 in 5 households had to pay for a boiler repair, with the average cost coming in at £270. Now, 52% of these households used savings to pay for the repairs, but 13% used a payday loan or credit card. Now, a payday loan would have seen these households paying significantly more for the repair because of expensive borrowing. So remember, we're looking at an estimated cost here of £270. We're looking at a 13% interest rate. And if you paid back the loan in 1 month, you'd pay 25% in interest. You'd pay 55% more if you paid it back in 2 months, but you'd pay 93% more if you paid the loan back in 3 months. You'd ultimately repay £522, which is £270 cost and £252 in interest. So unexpected boiler repairs are not the only things that we'll need backup for. Think about how you would manage if you or your partner were made redundant or you were unable to work due to injury or illness. Now, many of these issues are being faced by households currently in the wake of COVID-19. Now, some of these circumstances you might have covered by insurance or perhaps via your employer. But having emergency savings or a savings buffer makes it easier to cope with these stressful and difficult situations. They help you manage the bumps in the road and keep you on track to achieve your goals. Now, to help you visualise, let's say you've borrowed £1,000 and you want to repay the debt over a 12-month period. Now, the most expensive way to do this would be via a payday loan. You'd make repayment costs of £245 a month, and ultimately it would cost you just under £2,000 to borrow £1,000. If you use a store card, potentially you could rebate payments of just under £100 a month, and the cost for borrowing would be £163.40, so better than the payday loan option. If you had a credit card with a typical rate of 22.8%, your total cost of borrowing would be just shy of £130, and you'd pay about £94 a month repayment. However, think about having a credit card with 0%, and lots of these are offered even for an initial term. You'd therefore make a repayment of £83.33 a month, but you'd have zero cost of borrowing. So you can see there's some real difference here depending on the type of borrowing you have. So make sure you're finding out this information and you're using loan repayment calculators that are widely available online. So when deciding where the best place is, check the APR, If anything you have currently, check if there's any penalties if you're looking to do any early repayments. Sometimes they might charge you extra fees for doing so. Think about what feels comfortable with you. Are you happy with the size of the loan, and are you happy to pay the APR over the term? Now, short-term high APR loans are usually designed to be paid off completely by your next payday. Longer-term lower APR loans are generally paid off in regular arranged instalments to spread the cost. So make sure you've got the right loan for your purpose. Now, your behaviours and ultimately credit rating will determine the cost of your borrowing. Now, first of all, do you know your credit rating? Do you know what interest rates you are paying and how much it's costing you to borrow? You can find your credit rating by using a number of agencies online, and you can generate a free report. Also, did you know the closer to your credit card limit you become, the worse impact on your credit rating? Therefore, if you have £2,000 as a balance on a credit card, it's actually better to have a card with a limit of £8,000 than one with a limit of £2,000. So you might think it's about the level of the limit, i.e. the £8,000 versus the £2,000, but what's in fact important is the utilisation. Now on screen here we've got some examples of ways to borrow money. And what you should do is find out what each of your credit agreements is costing and pay them off, starting with the most expensive first. So you can make a plan like this, deciding what you will repay and in what order. By paying your credit off and making sure you hit your monthly payments, you'll improve your credit score. If you can then consider taking out a consolidation loan, but it's really important that you use this for the purpose in which it's intended, to consolidate and repay your debts and not to increase your total borrowing. A consolidation loan will give you a single monthly payment, which can make your finances easier to manage. By getting a single lower cost loan, this will also in turn reduce your monthly repayment costs and could mean you pay off your debt earlier. Like everything, we go back to making a plan. Make sure you're writing it down and keep using it, referring to it to ensure that you're on track. So here's a template of a simple financial plan we've created, and we've made this a PDF so you can download, print and hopefully use it. So do please contact us if you would like a copy. So that brings us to the end of this session. This is the third in a series of bite-sized sessions, and we hope you found it useful and will join us again. If you haven't already, please do view our previous webinars that can help you with writing a financial plan, and we have one that focuses on saving as well. We'd really love any feedback that you might have, but of course if you have any questions at this stage, please do send us an email. Now, Johnson Fleming specialises in guidance and education, but if you do feel you'd benefit from full financial advice, you can find an independent financial advisor at unbiased.co.uk, or we'd be very pleased to make a referral for you to our sister company, Johnson Fleming Future Life Planning. Thank you very much for listening.